Hello and welcome to PlayStation Racer. My name is Mitchell Morgan and today we are actually going to do it. We're going to be looking at the licenses. So within the cafe, the next menu book that we need to do is to visit the license centre and to do the first of our licenses. So if we come out of the cafe and we go across to the license centre, then we find that the first license that we need to do is the National B license. There's a National B, National A, International B, International A, and a Super license, and they all get progressively more difficult. So we start off with a couple of break-in challenges, then a couple of corners, then a few sequential corners, and it's just building up in complexity right the way through to the final exam. Now we can just dive into those challenges, but I'm just going to go into this little tutorial, and just for the completeness of this video, we'll go through the demonstration. So we get a little welcome, and then it will start to talk about some of the driving aids that are available to us. So the first one is this braking zone. So that gives you a red band of where you need to brake. Now I don't tend to use these because it will encourage you to brake much earlier than you need to, and therefore your times will be slower. You'll probably still get gold if you do what it says, but if you want to get a good time, then I tend to leave that driving aid off. So depending on how new you are to the game, then that is entirely up to you. But you can see as you run up to the corner exactly where you need to brake. So you can see there that when the braking indicator is on, and then you can see that it starts flashing when you get there. So that's the flashing area where your speedometer is. You've also got these corner markers, which I've got turned on and the racing line. But the main one that we're talking about at the moment here is this braking zone. Now the other thing that it will do is the system will prompt you for which gear you need to be in for the next corner. So really we need to be in the second gear for this particular corner. Now again, I tend to find that that doesn't always work for me. I will very often be going in to the corner and dropping down gears to get the car slowed down quicker and get it turned in. But then as I come out, very often I'm in a higher gear to get traction. Now here we're talking about the corner indicators. When I'm learning a new track, I do have the corner indicators on, just to give me a little bit of an idea of where the turning point is, where the apex of the corner is. But as you learn the tracks, again, you want to be taking those off, because otherwise you tend to drive to the markers rather than the track, so it will slow you down. Traction control is also another area that everybody talks about. Having your traction control at 3 is around the middle. If you find that your car is sliding around a lot and you can't control it, then you could put it up to high, but you'll notice that when I'm driving, I tend to have my traction control at 1. The recommendation is actually to have it off, but you have got to be pretty careful how you put the acceleration down. Now, there are tips like having the steering wheel not more than 45 degrees and the like for that. But I tend to have my traction control on 1. I tend to find that that gives me enough power out of the corner without spinning out all of the time. So quite a few driving aids if you are new to Gran Turismo. My recommendation, my strong recommendation, would be to get these driving aids turned off as quickly as possible. I don't think I've ever played the game with the braking zone where it's got the red lines across the track. I don't think I've ever played with that. I found that to be very off-putting, and like I said, it tends to slow you down far too much. The driving line and the corner markers, yeah, I mean the driving line I tend to take off very, very quickly. I've got it on at the moment when I'm playing, just so that it's simulating how I was playing the game when I first started. But you'll notice that now that I know some of these tracks, I'm actually deviating from that driving, that racing line, that favoured line through the corners. And sometimes when you are running with ghost cars, so the ghost car that actually set gold in some of these challenges, you'll find that they're also not following that perfect driving line. You're going to see that in a video when I think we do Brands Hatch in particular, so watch out for that. So for now, let's see how quickly we can get through this first license, and it should be pretty easy, and we should be able to get through it, pretty quickly, I would hope. So I've got 4 friends that have set times. Again, I'm not too worried about whether I beat them. When I did this, first of all, I was trying to get top, just because. But now on this particular account, I just want to get gold. So at the beginning of every one of these challenges, you can see that you are being taken through what to do and giving you guidance. That can be useful, but sometimes I just dive in and just get on with it. So while we're going through this little tutorial, you just notice the subscribe banner come up. This is a new YouTube channel that I'm trying to build. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. It would be very, very much appreciated. It lets me know that these videos are worth doing, that people are getting something out of it more than me just documenting my journey. And it would be great to have you along on the journey. And if you like this video, please consider smashing that like button. So here we go. Low powered car. We try and get off the line as quick as we can, and we're looking to try and get up to speed and then brake in that stopping zone within 20.5. I don't expect to do it on the first one because I'm picking a zone, as he said, where the cones are. Now I'm changing down the gears and we haven't gone far enough, so I've just got to let the car roll forward into the braking zone. So quite clearly, braking on the cones where I broke wasn't enough. So I'm going to go now that little bit further, still the same technique. I'm going to try and get off the line quickly. The ghost car is just in front of me, so that hasn't gone away quicker than I have. It's just that there is a little bit of a difference in distance. And I am watching out for the cones, just slightly after the cones, bury the brake pedal, changing down into first gear for rapid braking, and we immediately put in a 19.955, and that is good enough for gold. I don't tend to watch the, oh wow, okay, I've gone top of my friends, which was that was unexpected. Yeah, I don't tend to watch the replays on these because there's not an awful lot to see, and once you've done it, you've done it. So then we move on to the second one, which is the same challenge, just in a faster car. So we're going to get off the line quicker, we're going to have to get up through the gears quicker, and then we're going to have to brake earlier. So again, this is all judgment, it's all just trying to guess where things are. And this time I'm not doing a demonstration, I'm just going to go straight into it because I know that I'm going to brake later than the demonstration would show me. I'm going to be using the manual gears to slow the car down. And I'm just going to try and get it right on the edge of that stopping zone. Now if you're using automatic gears, you're going to need to adjust accordingly, and I broke way too early there, so I will, okay, we've got bronze, but I will think about where I broke and then just try and brake just that little bit later and just see if we can stop the car just inside that braking zone. So here we go again. I'm not using the ghost car at all. This I should turn it off actually, but it's just on for no good reason. So we bury the brake pedal. Do we get in the braking zone? No, I had to let it run just a little bit more. So again, I need to brake just that little bit later. Every single time we're doing this run, we are thinking about where we're braking, and then the next time we're going to brake just that little bit later. And this only takes a few seconds, so it's not like it's taking very much time at all. It's not like we're doing the Nordschleife, which is a 10-minute track, so we can just run through this. So it looks like we've just got into the braking zone there. It's 16.188. I feel we could actually have got that a little bit quicker, but we've got gold, and that's all I'm worried about. So we are happy. And okay, second place. As I said, we could have gone a little bit quicker, but I'm happy with that. We get our credits, and then we'll move on to the next challenge. Now the next challenge is again a slow car, and we've got a corner. So I imagine that we're just going to bury the accelerator pedal, and we're just going to watch our line around this corner. and just see what sort of time that we can get. Okay, here we go. So after that last car, this one seems extremely slow. And we got a nice wide open corner here. So I actually come off of the accelerator a bit there. I'm really not sure that I needed to. Probably just being a little bit overcautious on this first run. I think we'll probably have to do that again. No, we've gone gold straight away at 14.4. That was slow, very slow. I'm actually quite surprised that we got gold. However, we have gone top of my friends. So again, yeah, I feel we could have gone a lot quicker, but we're happy with that. And we'll move on to the next one. So B4 is the same challenge, but again in a slightly faster car. So we are going to either need to brake into the corner and accelerate through and out, or we might need to feather the throttle a little bit. If we need to feather the throttle, then that's a new technique that we will need to master. So for now, I'm just going to carry into this corner as much speed as we can. Get some brake, just balance the car a little bit, and then accelerate out. We didn't actually need to brake too heavily, and we come in with an 11.688, so only just in. I'll bet that Kushti's beaten me on that one, and probably the other guys. Yeah, everybody's beaten me on that one. I feel I could have gone a lot quicker, and vanity has got the better of me. I said that when Snow went gold, we would just carry on, but no. I don't like being that far down the table, so we go for it and we try again. Trying a little bit too hard that time, so we're throwing it off the track. So we'll give it another try. And I really should be doing this. We've got gold. Just move on. Why worry about it? We're hiding in the line a little bit more this time, taking a little bit more of the curve, getting the power down earlier as we come up the hill. We're catching up with the ghost car ever so slightly all the way. And we put in an 11.338. I still think there is a massive amount of time to be made, but hopefully, well, we've gone top, so that will do. Let's move on. Like I said, we could do more, but you can spend ages just trying to get faster and faster and faster until you get to the point where you just can't go any faster. But we just want to get gold and move on. We're looking to get our license and then get into more exciting parts of the game, especially this particular license, because this one is very easy. When we start getting into some of the upper level licenses, and things can be quite difficult and can take quite a while to actually do. In particular, the very last challenge that I've never managed to complete, and I've probably spent about 4 or 5 hours of trying. So this one is a slow car, and we're just doing a couple of consecutive corners. So we've got a slower right-hander into a fast left-hander, and we've immediately gone gold with a 12.8. Won't worry about the replay, and we're in second place, so I'm quite happy with that. So we take our credits, we'll move on, and then we will try the next challenge, which is going to be exactly the same, except we are now in a much faster car. So we're going to need to think more carefully about what we're doing. Before, it was pretty much acceleration all the way through and just watching the line. Now we've got to think about acceleration, braking, pedaling the throttle, turning in, and just putting all of that together to get a good lap, as well as how we're going to position the car. So taking a bit of curve, running out onto the outside curve there, and just getting it rotated, and then a straight run to the line, just using that outside curve, and a 10.756 straight away. So that's pretty good, and we're actually moving through this license pretty quickly now. Oh, top again on the friends list. That is nice. So I should remind everybody that Kushti is a really good racer. He's an A-rated racer. I think he might have made A+ now, but A-rated racer. I am still very much a C-rated racer. He's a lot quicker than me. So to be putting in these times, I'm really pleased. But these are very basic exercises, basic skills. So I'm not going to get too complacent, too happy with my results. I just want to get gold. So here we're in corner basics 5. So we are coming down to this very wide corner. You can take the hatchings on the left hand side. So we're looking for a turning point. I use the sign there. use the hatchings, let it run out as we exit the corner to get the power down as quickly as possible. And then we come in straight away with a 17.272. I happen to know that corner, so that has obviously helped me to get top again. Obviously, if I was running out for the very first time, that may well not happen. I have got the benefit of running these tracks previously. So now we're in a Lancer Evolution, and we've got a fast 90-degree left-hander. So again, I'm not worrying about the demo, we're just jumping straight in. We go over the start line, and I'm using these marker boards at the side of the track to pick where I'm going to turn in. I'm slightly late there, didn't manage to get the apex on that corner, which means we compromised on the speed on the way out, and that's resulted in a silver because the line was slightly wrong. So now that we've got these marker boards, I can gauge where I need to brake this time. I need to brake just slightly earlier than I did last time. I think I broke midway between the 50 and the 150. This time I've used that little shadow. Shadows aren't a good idea to use as brake markers because if the sun goes in, you lose the marker. But there's a fairly good chance the sun isn't going to go in while I'm doing these exercises, so I did use the shadow and immediately got a gold nice and quickly on that particular challenge as well. So the money's ticking up very slowly. You don't get a lot of money for doing these, but it does unlock additional parts of the game, so it is an important part to do. Okay, so we've got a fast corner into a slow corner. So we'll see how we do with this, and we've got a Civic Type R, a nice quick hatchback car to do it in. So we are going to need to be very careful about braking into that tight right-hander. So on B9, we're almost done. So we're coming down to this corner, we're watching for the turn-in, we're going to take a bit of curb, we're then looking for another turning point there. I got a very wide, very wide there. I really didn't get the car turned in at all there, and then we run to the line. So that's going to be, okay, it's a silver. I was expecting that to probably be bronze because we did go in very wide. So I'm going to brake a little bit earlier, get it turned in a little bit sooner, and see if we can catch the apex of that second corner. So we do this one quite nicely. I'm looking at braking at the beginning of that red patch. That was better, still could be tighter. There's still much more time to be had in there, but that is quicker and it is good enough to get gold. So if we'd broken a little bit more heavily, I think, at the beginning of that red patch of curb and hit the apex, then we could have definitely got another couple of tenths of a second out of that and probably gone top of the tree, but second is good enough. I'm quite happy with that. And I want to get through this license as quickly as we can, so we're going to move on to the final exam. So we've done B1 through 9. We gold on all of those, so I'm happy. And now we're into final exam. Now, if you can't get gold on all of these, I think that if you get bronze, then you do still get the license. But as you'll see in a moment, there is a benefit to going gold, and that's the reason why I am pushing to try and get gold on all of these challenges. Okay, so this one is putting everything together. We've got long sweeping corners, we've got tight corner, we've got a fast right-hander. So we are looking for braking and a turning point. We're looking to try and apex some of these corners. We've gone very wide there. That would have lost us some time. On this one, we're going to look at turning on that marker, seeing if we can take a bit of the curb. You are jumping around with different cars here, and each car behaves and feels very differently. So sometimes you still drive it like you were driving the one before. So it can take a turn or two just to get to the feel of how the car is behaving, where it's sliding, where it's understeering, oversteering, etc. So we did get silver there. We're going to take a bit more curb there. We're going to take a little bit more curb here, try and get some more speed out of that corner. And then line this one up on the left-hand side, sweep across the track, get in the apex, try to carry the speed through the corner. We're up on the Ghost. It looks like a similar speed, but this should be good enough to get gold. And we come in with a 24,985, which is good enough. And there we go. Second place, happy with that. All we're looking for is gold. And that will then be all of our first license completed. So National B license acquired, which is rather nice. And then that will unlock additional parts of the game, I have no doubt. And it should also get us a car or two. So the first car we get is the Clio RS. I believe that was for going all bronze on this particular track, which is rather nice. That's another car in the collection. That's going to take our collector level, okay, it doesn't take it up to 4, but we are moving around on to 3. And then because we went gold, we actually get a much nicer car. We've got this GTO, beautiful car in red. It handles really nicely, this one. And I have used it for a few challenges, and that is well worth sticking out and trying to get gold on all of those challenges. And the collector level, yeah, it brings us around nearly 3/4 of the way to the next level. So that's great. So now we've got our National B license. We will now be moving on to the National A license. And you find that these guys that are on the screen here, these are all real people that are at the top of their game playing Gran Turismo. And it's quite nice to have real people in here. Yeah, there we go. National B license completed. Hope you found this useful. We'll be looking at the National A, probably tomorrow. Got a few other things I want to do in the meantime. However, if you are new to this channel, then please consider subscribing. I value all of my subscribers, and I'm trying to get this new channel off of the ground. So please consider subscribing. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video coming very soon. In the meantime, stay safe, stay well, and I look forward to seeing you very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.